Good evening, everyone. Today, I want to share a simple but powerful idea. Have you ever wondered why some people simply seem unforgettable? Why a glance, a conversation, or even a fleeting moment with someone can leave such a lasting imprint on your heart? It's tempting to believe that people fall in love because of appearance, achievements, or charm. But in truth, the reasons are far deeper and far simpler. People fall in love with you only for two reasons: because of how you make them feel about themselves, and because they recognize a part of themselves in you. Let's start with the first. People fall in love with how you make them feel. Love, at its core, is an emotional experience, not a logical calculation. It's not built from a checklist of traits or a mathematical analysis of compatibility. It's born in moments that move the heart: a laugh shared over a silly joke, the quiet comfort of being truly listened to, the electric feeling of being understood without having to explain yourself. We remember the emotions others evoke in us more vividly than anything they say or do. When someone feels seen and accepted in your presence, you become special to them. It's not about impressing them with grand gestures or constant brilliance. It's about making them feel safe enough to be who they are without fear. It's about making them feel valued, not for their achievements, but for their existence. It's in the simple, often unnoticed gestures: listening without interrupting, encouraging without controlling, believing in them even when they doubt themselves, that the deepest affections grow. We all carry wounds, insecurities, and dreams tucked away inside us. Often we move through life guarded, unsure if anyone truly notices or understands us. When you meet someone who makes you feel like your true self is not only acceptable but beautiful, it changes everything. Love isn't just admiration from a distance. It's the feeling of being emotionally embraced, flaws and all. And so, when you become the source of that feeling for someone, you create a bond that is not easily broken. Then there is the second reason. People fall in love when they see themselves in you. We are drawn to what is familiar, to what resonates within us. Sometimes it's a shared value, like a mutual love for kindness, creativity, or freedom. Sometimes it's a shared struggle, like understanding the pain of loss, or the courage it takes to dream again after failure. And sometimes it's an invisible thread that links two souls who have walked similar paths, even if their lives look different on the surface. In seeing themselves in you, people find validation. They find a sense of belonging, a relief from the loneliness that tells them they are alone in their experiences. You become a mirror, reflecting back to them their own worth, strength, or tenderness. You remind them of parts of themselves they might have forgotten or never dared to love. This reflection forms a connection that feels natural, even fated, because it taps into something deeply personal and undeniable. Real love is not about finding someone who dazzles you from a distance. It's about finding someone who feels like home. It's about standing in front of another person and recognizing pieces of yourself, the dreams you have, the fears you carry, the hopes you nurture echoed back to you. It's about feeling less alone in the world because, somehow, your soul recognizes itself in another. When you understand these two truths, that love is based on the feelings you evoke and the reflection you offer, everything changes. You stop striving to be impressive. You stop wearing masks. Instead, you start focusing on presence, on really seeing others, on genuinely listening, on allowing your real self to show up without fear. You realize that the greatest gift you can offer someone is the experience of being fully accepted, and the greatest gift they can offer you is the same. This understanding also frees you from endless self-judgment. You don't need to be the most talented, the most beautiful, or the most successful person to be deeply loved. You simply need to be present. You simply need to open your heart enough to let others feel seen and recognized. Love is not a prize awarded to the perfect. It's a resonance, a meeting of two inner worlds that awaken and affirm each other. Think back to the people you have loved most deeply in your own life. Chances are they were not perfect. They may not have had everything figured out, yet somehow with them you felt alive, you felt understood, you felt stronger, lighter, braver, simply by being near them. They touched something inside you, either by lifting your spirit or by reflecting your true self. And that not perfection, not image is what lingers, that is what endures. In a world obsessed with appearances, status, and performances, it is easy to forget the quiet, powerful truth. People don't fall in love with your resume. They fall in love with your presence. They fall in love with how their soul feels in your company. They fall in love with the way you bring out parts of themselves they long to cherish. So the next time you wonder what it takes to be loved, remember this. It is not about becoming someone else. It is not about fixing yourself or shining so brightly that no one can ignore you. It is about being human enough, open enough, and kind enough to make another person feel deeply alive, and in doing so, allowing them to recognize the beauty that already lives within them. In the end, we love not because someone completes us, but because they remind us that we were never broken in the first place. We love because something unspoken within us finds a home in another, and that the way we feel and the way we see ourselves anew is why love, when it is real, stays long after the words are forgotten. Imagine two candles meeting in a dark room. One lights the other, filling the space with a warm, growing glow. Or sometimes they both simply reflect each other's flames, creating a dance of light between them. This, in many ways, is what happens when people fall in love. It is not a cold calculation of traits or advantages. It is not a checklist being ticked off in the mind. It is something far more ancient, more intuitive, and more beautiful. People fall in love with you only for two reasons. Either you are the light that makes them feel more alive, or you are the mirror in which they recognize themselves. First, the light. Love is born not just from admiration or attraction, but from the emotional atmosphere you create around others. When you bring warmth, joy, acceptance, or inspiration into someone's life, they are naturally drawn to you. It isn't always something they consciously understand. It's something they feel, like stepping into the sunlight after a long winter. You become associated with the good feelings they have when they are around you. You become a symbol of happiness, of safety, of hope. Think about it. In a world where so many people walk through life burdened with stress, fear, loneliness, and doubt, encountering someone who lifts their spirits, even for a moment, is unforgettable. People remember those who made them feel significant when they felt small. They remember those who made them laugh when they were drowning in worries. They remember those who listened without judgment, who celebrated their victories and comforted their defeats. It's the emotional experience you offer, not your achievements, that imprints you on someone's heart. There is a simple but profound truth. People might admire you for your talents, respect you for your achievements, and notice you for your appearance, but they will love you for how you make them feel. You could be the most accomplished person in the room, but if people feel inferior, judged, or invisible around you, love will not grow. On the other hand, even a quiet, humble presence that makes others feel cherished can ignite deep affection. The light you offer, whether it's your laughter, your encouragement, or your simple, sincere presence, becomes a sanctuary for others. Then there is the mirror. Sometimes people fall in love because when they look at you, they see themselves. Not in a surface level way, not merely shared hobbies or opinions, but in a profound, soulful way. They see their dreams reflected in your eyes. They recognize their own struggles in your story. They sense that you understand parts of them they barely dare to reveal, because you have lived through similar joys and pains. This kind of love is often quiet, slow, and powerful. It is born when someone feels less alone in the world because you exist. It is born when someone feels understood without having to explain every detail of who they are. In seeing themselves in you, they find a deep, resonant comfort, the comfort of being known, the comfort of being accepted, the comfort of being mirrored back to themselves not with judgment, but with grace. We all carry within us the need to be seen, truly seen, not for the masks we wear, but for who we really are underneath. When someone feels that recognition coming from you, when they sense that their truth is safe in your presence, they cannot help but be drawn closer. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are a mirror to their soul, and sometimes you reflect not just who they are, but who they aspire to be. Your courage inspires their own. Your kindness reminds them of their own forgotten tenderness. Your resilience strengthens their own resolve. In loving you, they are, in some ways, loving the parts of themselves they are rediscovering. You become both a reflection and an invitation to be more fully themselves. When we understand these two forces, the light we give and the reflection we offer, we realize that being loved is not about changing who we are to fit someone else's ideal. It is about becoming more deeply and unapologetically ourselves. When we dare to shine our light honestly, without trying to control how others see us, we naturally attract those who are nourished by that light. When we dare to stand as mirrors, revealing and honoring the truths within us and others, we build connections that are lasting and real. This understanding also brings great freedom. You do not need to be everyone's source of light. You do not need to be everyone's mirror. Love is not about forcing yourself to be noticed or understood. It is about resonance. It is about authenticity. The right people, the ones who will cherish you, will feel your light without effort. They will recognize themselves in you without being persuaded. If you think about the people you have loved most deeply, you will see this pattern. Some of them made you feel stronger, happier, lighter, simply by being near. Others mirrored something sacred inside you, a dream, a value, a vulnerability you thought no one else could understand. These connections shaped you. They taught you what it meant to be seen, to be cherished, to be deeply alive in the presence of another. In the end, love is not a transaction. It is a recognition. It is the meeting of two inner worlds, two flames or two reflections, answering each other's silent questions. Do you see me? Do you understand me? Can I be safe with you? When the answer to these unspoken questions is yes, love flows naturally, quietly, powerfully. No grand gestures are needed, no perfect performances required, just the honesty of your light and the courage of your reflection. So if you wish to be loved, truly loved, focus less on how you appear and more on how you are. Be the light that lifts others without pretending. Be the mirror that reflects beauty and truth without fear. In doing so, you won't have to chase love. Love will find you, because you will be offering what every soul is silently seeking, the feeling of being more alive, more whole, and more themselves than they ever believed possible. Thank you.